According to Emily, Brennan has a spark for a horse and not her.
That's a sad state of affairs right there.
Yeah, translation, a whole bunch of horse-ish.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts.
Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series, Married at First Sight, season number 17, episode number 11.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Please click that like button and send us your comments. And we thank you and appreciate you for your support. So, Emily and Brennan are making pizza and they're discussing their session with Dr. Pia.
Mm-hmm.
And Emily told Brennan that she needs him to start speaking up and talking more about their relationship and all that other stuff. She wants to hear it. She needs to hear them moving forward.
Yeah, as it relates to both their communication and his specifically emotions.
Yes. And additionally, it seems like Dr. Peer recommended that they do an exercise to spark sexual interest to touch each other from their head to their toe. And of course, Mr. I don't want any therapy rejected that idea and decided that he's going to pivot away from that. He said that they should hug more often. And Emily being accommodating, she said sure, and they started hugging at least at that point in time.
Speaking of horse-ish, stop me when I'm lying, y'all. Emily says that she's committed, and if she thinks it's going to work, she's all in. Brennan says the same.
So they plan an activity to go horseback riding.
Right, as part of their 1 month anniversary celebration.
And Emily noticed that Brennan was really into the horse that he was riding,
Mm-hmm.
patting it down and talking sweetly to the horse. And of course, like any woman who is being denied, she noticed that this man rubbing this horse down, and she made a comment that it seems like he had a little more spark for the horse than he did for her because clearly the horse was getting more action than she was. He's more concerned about his image and he is now coming over as a very cold individual. He doesn't smile often and it seldom reaches his eyes. They're having some serious problems.
After going horseback riding, they actually went out to have a bite to eat and
Yes,
kind of toast their 1 month anniversary,
yes.
celebrate that part of it. As part of that dinner, Brennan reveals to Emily that she has made it very comfortable for him to move in because he had doubts going in from the very beginning and really didn't want to do that after the honeymoon, right?
Yeah, and additionally, he said in the past, if he had seen red flags, he would have ran, but now he's staying put. And she asked him whether she was a red flag. And this brother looked her in her face and told her, yeah.
Mm, mm. And didn't duck or nothing like that.
I think he was deliberately hurtful. I think he did not consider her feelings in that moment because what we have seen her do is to be very considerate, very accommodating, and she's always the one to put stuff aside and move forward and move forward and move forward. And he's not giving her anything but his sour face. I feel bad for her.
She's dealing with a husband who's deliberately not connecting with her on an emotional level, which is part of his responsibility as a husband. I just don't think that he is living up to his obligation right now. His authentic self is MIA. I think that he has some things that he's got to come to grips with as it relates to his true intentions,
Yeah.
because we can see by his actions that those intentions are not lining up with what he's saying.
Go out for dinner, Claire and Cameron, Becca and Austin, and Emily and Brennan. Every couple is having a situation.
And it's causing stress.
Becca asked what advice would would they have given to themselves if they knew what they would have to encounter? And Emily said that she wished she was prepared more for the ripple effects
Right.
and how they would affect her. Brennan asked the question to
He
Cameron,
punked
and
out.
it was so disrespectful. You're in a group setting. Why you being nasty to your wife for no reason at all? The group is having a discussion. They're answering questions. She passed it to you. Why would you do that? It's like almost like he wanted to humiliate her.
On top of that, to reveal to the group, both he and Emily have a future together, but it's taken him a while to open up.
And of course, that lights
Yeah,
Emily up.
and the reason why it lit Emily up is because he's saying he wants to take things day by day, which is what he's been saying all along to deflect from having to be really truly engaged in the more serious conversation with her.
But he is gaslighting her. It's like he wants a hug at the house, but when he's in the company of the other couples, he's saying that he's taking it day by day and not talking about maybe the improvements they have been making. So Emily is upset at this point and she's trying to compose herself. So she tells the table that she's going to the bathroom. And he asks her whether she wants him to walk with her. And she said no. He is so controlling. Can't the woman just go to the bathroom in peace?
Well,
Because I am sure he wanted to have a conversation with her.
of course, like he
You
tried to
know,
do, like he tried to control the situation with
when Dr.
Dr.
Pia
Pia
was
was there
Emily is now outside and Claire goes outside with her.
for Claire to go after Emily to try to console her was a nice gesture, but that to me is where it ends because
Claire needs to keep her opinions to herself.
and mind her business
She
and
has
work
no
on marriage that she's having with her husband Cameron.
she has no business trying to advise anybody of doing anything.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Emily is expressing her frustration and she's confused by his behavior. Of course, Brennan goes outside and he starts whispering to her about why she's so upset.
He's trying to do
And
everything he can to get out of doing what she asked him to do.
they were sitting in the car and you could hear them having a conversation, but their mics were still on. And she was, telling him how frustrated she is. And he was just speaking in circles at this point. He
And
was just opening his mouth and closing it like a fish, and nothing worthwhile was coming out.
And to me, that's the key in terms of what's causing Emily to experience ongoing frustration in their marriage. He is on this merry-go-round where he talks in circles and can never talk in a straight line and move in that same straight line direction. What he's saying and is not coming across as matching as a corresponding action as it relates to how he treats his wife, at least on camera. He is just showing that one, he's not ready for marriage. Two, he's being disingenuous about pretending like he is interested in making this thing work with his wife.
It's like Angelique, one of the media experts, said last week. Perhaps he was expecting a mail order bride and the real woman showed up.
Right. At least I can see legitimately from her end a true effort to try to make this thing work, despite all the issues that she's got to deal with.
Quiet as it's kept, she just may be the only one that has some kind of sense. Surprisingly, she's the one who never had a relationship.
Right.
And her first real relationship, i.e., marriage, she has it with this guy with dummy tendencies. Not a good start. Not a good start at all.
Some of us might think a little stronger about about our characterizations about what we see about Brennan.
I'm talking about his actions rather than who he is.
Good choice.